Welcome, everybody, to the post-triple dig episode 101 of the Doctor's Orders live stream on the Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff YouTube channel. Now, to begin, I'll do my classic intro in just a little bit here. But to begin, we see our friend Leo Sigmund in the chat says, my phone is acting up. Leo, you are not alone. I was just showing Nick the down detector for Amazon, for Spotify, for different cell service companies. Number one, there's a lot of severe weather going on. We've had a downpour for the last several hours and the last couple of days. It's been pretty consistent. There were tornadoes in the Midwest. We got a tropical storm on the East Coast. So I think there's like a culmination of a bunch of stuff. And many of you probably saw there were like tech problems going on yesterday. And so if you are experiencing any problems with your phone, with your internet, anything like that, just know it's not you. You're not alone. And there are reasons for it. But hopefully the stream is going smoothly. I think it looks okay as far as all my numbers on this end. But I just want to make sure we got that out there. Like, yeah, you're not alone on this one. And man, already 20 amazing friends in the chat. Hello. As you guys come in, if you don't mind, please hit a thumbs up on this stream. If you want to share this out with some friends, today is really not beard related, beard products, beard company, nothing related at all. This is just humans talking and having some interesting conversations. So invite your mom, invite your friends, invite your coworkers. Sincerely, this might be the lunch break that they need. And my name's Dan. I go by Dancy Bearded Online. I'm Daniel Command by my government name, and I make beard content, and I just like helping people, whether it's getting the word out about great companies like Dr. Nick's, or whether it's just simply giving beard care advice or answering questions. This stream fits me and my personality
or just
perfectly.
Being an all-around good guy.
Stop. And this stream fits perfectly because I get to talk. I get to hang out with you guys. We get to go over whatever the heck we want. And I say we because I am the co-host. To have a co-host, you got to have the other co. And the co-host, the co-star, is coming to us from the home office today. So same beautiful mug, just different location. And this man is one of the people behind the scenes trying to keep the glue of the internet together so you guys can have your cell phones and your bank accounts and your hospitals running properly. Oh, by the way, Nick, I didn't even tell you this. Hurley Hospital, which is one that has operated on Jax and probably saved his life, we had Genesis before Ascension. They now have a ransomware attack. So Hurley Hospital in Flint, Michigan, they have no computer systems. They put out their nurses put on Facebook, don't come here. We can't help you. So yeah.
I have a little thing that scrapes the posts for people posting ransoms and all their stuff, and I have a filter on there for Massachusetts. I got a filter on there for Florida, and now I have a filter on there for Michigan.
Nice.
So I get little things popping up. It's like, something popped in Michigan again.
Yep. Flint, Michigan, Hurley Hospital, unfortunately. But if there's anybody you want on your side, whether it's fighting the internet, whether it is helping your beard, whether it's working on your car, giving you advice on negotiations with hotel companies, yeah, that's real. He helped me with that. If you're wondering what we do before stream, Nick helps me with negotiations and helps me with just perspective on experiences that I've never had that he's well versed in. And so with that, please welcome the Tangent King himself, the ginger, rustic, slightly reddish Norwegian god of a beard himself. Please welcome the Doctor of Time and Space, Mr. Nick Phelps.
All of that was for the beard. I'm just here kind of along for the ride. The beard is actually the other co-host. Someone just called the Dr. Nick's line that rings Jill and I's both phone. I should have answered live on the stream and said, "Hey, you're live on the stream. Join up and ask your question."
That would have been cool. That would have been actually really dangerous.
Oh, I should have done it. If they call back, I'm doing it.
All right. If you're watching and you called, do it. It may have been Julie, aka your mom, and she said, "Good to have this break with the Odyssey, my son."
Well,
that's so cool.
I can't wait to see her in a couple weeks. But
let's go.
Man, no. It's funny. It's like I have friends that run a business down in Florida, and they both they both founded it. And when the time came where they got bought by private equity, they're like, okay, well, someone has to have the CEO role, and neither one of them thought it was fair to have CEO and have someone else be something else. So they were both co-CEO. It said co-CEO, both business cards, and that's what we are here. I mean, we're just co-host and co-host, and co-host. We're not host and co-host, or host and co-host. Nope. Just two co-hosts here, man. Just like level playing field.
I'll
And
take it.
I feel like I need an intro for Dan sometimes. We're gonna flip it where I'm gonna do the intro, and he sells himself so short. Like, this guy makes beard content, answers questions, all around nice guy, those sorts of things. Dan has another superpower, and it's, for some reason, having like the reasonable side of the thoughts in my head sometimes. And so when I go off the deep end, I'll just puke into my phone on voice text and text Dan, and he'll reply back right away, just with kind of like his perspective, which is interesting because it's usually exactly what I need. And it's not even like he's coming up with what I need to hear. It's just already in his head. So, I mean, it's in addition to, you are the bearded therapist that most people just don't have on their insurance plan.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And I control the intro, so you'll never have that chance.
I'm just gonna interrupt.
You're just gonna gut in, yeah.
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody, man. So good to see you, like OG Fitzroy and so many of our friends in here. And Justin says, hey, check out that new profile pic. He's got that hat on from Dr. Nix.
Oh, look at that thing.
Yeah.
Dude, that looks good on you too, man.
Hey.
I like that hat a lot. I think there's a couple I think look better on me, but then again, people tell me that green color like brings out the red in the beard, which, as some of you might know, is something I used to be like super duper self-conscious about. I'm like, I don't have a red beard. It's brown. It's auburn. It's not red. But then, hey, loud and proud, man. You gotta, get in where you fit in. So, I've been liking the green more and more. I actually bought another green shirt because of all Dan's nice things he says about green shirts when I wear.
I love that shirt,
dude. So you know what it is. That's all we're doing here. We're just boosting confidence, making each other feel good. That's what it is. That's what we do on Tuesdays.
Along with South Park helping you kind of ease the pain of the red and ginger,
It does. I don't feel like a day walker anymore. I don't. It's one
of my favorite phrases.
I think I have a soul, and I'm not a day walker. It's like, I like when he goes and he meets the family that's like has the ginger kids, and he's like, I heard they had no souls. He's like, no, I'm sure they have souls.
Yeah,
look at them.
Do, right? Yeah,
I'm sure of it.
Daywalker, like one of the best ever, and I can't think of that phrase without thinking of Shane Gillis. He's like, yeah, I'm a little regular daywalker myself.
Yep. Oh, dude, they did. Did you watch that Kill Tony where they had Shane Gillis on there?
Oh my gosh, as Trump, and then they had the other guy as Biden, or are you talking a different one?
As Biden, yeah, no, that one.
Unbelievable,
dude. He was so good at Trump. Like his things where his normal thing where he's like
yep,
like does that thing. He like translates that into a Trumpism, and like his stank face is like dead on. His like, excuse me,
yeah,
excuse me. Like his, oh god, it's just. If you guys haven't watched that, go watch the Kill Tony with Shane Gillis as Trump. It's so damn good.
And then Biden was just as good with Adam Ray. It was so good, so funny, and it's not even political. It's just funny. It's just so funny. And shout out to Moose. He says, you know what I was thinking of the other day, Dan? If you ever wanted to get into ocean content, it would be a super easy transition with your name, Dan C. S-E-A.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Has never crossed my mind once, but you are correct. That definitely fits. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, let Robert, who's the producer? Cameron, James Cameron. Let James Cameron hear that one. You're going to be like, yeah, next movie is going to be about Dan doing deep sea diving treasure hunting or something.
So true. So true. And then, because says, dude, I puke into voice text all the time. He said, did it to Dan a few times as well. I love it.
Yeah, careful on that, though.
What's
careful. I said, careful on that voice text, though. Those things can get long real quick. And then when you're like, oop, this is getting too long, and you send them in chunks, that can be problematic, too. So you just gotta not space out. That's the trick.
Yeah. Yep. All right, real quick, because I saw Jacob in here, I've got to highlight this post that he put on, and I think it's just absolutely amazing here. And Dr. Nick shared it on their story as well. He has in the caption here, Daniel, who is his son, giving a big shout out to Amazing Man Stuff for making the only product he can use without breaking out.
Ah, that's awesome.
Like,
What
come
do
on
you,
now.
and I know there's you I believe you use butter
Yeah.
on the scalp and stuff like that. What else does he use that works for him? Because I mean, that's a message I kind of want to broadcast a little bit, man, is that, you know, it's these gentle, non-saponified soaps. There's something special about surfactant based soaps.
Yeah, it's real. And I'm going to be helping with some content about soaps. We're actually going to do it on this stream. There's a shift happening with Dr. Nick's that I can't tell you yet publicly, but there's something involving soaps, and there's going to be an education process that comes along with it once that switch is flipped. So stay tuned there, you guys, because of what Nick just said. There's more to come on the saponification process and just that kind of info. But you're right. There's something to it with how many people have sensitive skin, how many people have pets, how many people have kids that have been burned, for lack of a better term, on so many other types of products. And then to see a comment like this where it says it's the only product he can use without breaking out, amazing. And he uses butter and the oil and the face wash, Nick.
Whoa. I'm just looking. I'm making
And
notes
he has
here.
a great name. Like, are you kidding me? Daniel, come on, dude.
I mean, that's a strong name.
Strong. Strong.
Daniel, Daniel Upped Leather. I mean, that's a strong name right there.
Yep. No, that's absolutely perfect. And then again, it showed Jacob right here, Mr. If you guys haven't seen Mr. Jacked Up himself, which you guys can find the caddies on the website. Here he is rocking that hat, and look at that stash, the shape and style right there. Stop
Dude,
it.
That's a strong ass look, dude. And that photo, it belonged in black and white. Like that's the way that photo needed to be. I'm glad that it told you that and that you listened.
Yes, absolutely amazing. So Jacob, Daniel, thank you guys for sharing that. That was something that brought a smile to my face. I didn't even have anything to say. I just put a heart emoji because it just, as a father, hearing something like that just warms my heart. Oh, and literally, no exaggeration. Okay, so we get home last night. Last night was Monday. I coached speed and agility. And I got the boys back home. We had dinner, and then we had to get ready for bed. I had to get ready for my live stream. And so the boys went upstairs to shower. Violet, it's like a treat when she gets to shower in our shower instead of like taking a bath or an upstairs shower. So I took her to our shower to shower, and she uses now every time in our shower. I haven't got a set up to hers yet, but I will one day for sure. We use the Dr. Nick's hair shampoo and hair conditioner, and she has hair past her butt crack. She's got really long curly hair. It is by far, and this is not an exaggeration, not funny timing with kids, last night, by far the best shampoo and conditioner she's ever used. And Sam is the biggest critic on anything I introduce, right? If I say, hey, I want the kids to try this, or hey, babe, you try this, she's super hard on me, right? Because if it's not perfect, she's just gonna be like, I like what we have, and blah blah blah. I have to like knock her socks off to introduce something new, like the Dr. Nick's body wash. It's the only one she's used for the last like 2 or 3 months. This morning, the curls were popping on Violet's hair, and Sam was like, okay, I approve. You may continue. And said I can continue to use the wash and conditioner. So your favorite person, little Violet, is using the Dr. Nick's shampoo and conditioner. And last night was when I used it. So cool.
My life is complete. So
cool.
It's
and
just
one of those. The smell of it too.
It's just one of those moments. Oh, which one was it?
Peppermint rosemary.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Everyone loves peppermint rosemary. But I mean, that's awesome, dude. I mean, kids are a funny test subject, because they have no reason to be anything but completely transparent and honest. Like in fact, they probably in their head have more reason to not like something than they do to say that they do, right?
No
because
filter.
Kids just kind of like being able to control whatever little bit of life they can control, since they're kind of under our thumbs all the time, when kids are like, oh my God, that worked so good, and my hair feels amazing, and it smelled really good. You're getting like really good, transparent feedback there.
Yeah, she has really wavy, curly hair, unlike I do. Sam used to when she was a little kid, so I think that's where it comes from. So, like brushing, and we don't even really usually comb unless it's in the shower. Brushing's a real challenge with the tangles and the snags. It was like butter, like just butter,
Really?
baby. It was so nice. Like literally, I had to question if I needed to use conditioner after the wash, because when I rinsed out the wash and I used the Chicago comb on her hair too. When I ran it through her hair, it straight through. I did.
You're like,
use
did I get that conditioner out?
What's that?
You're like, did I get that conditioner out all the way?
Right. No, I was like, can I just leave it? Kind of like my hair, but I'm like, all right, she has curls. I guess that's important for curls for girls. You got to have some conditioner in there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we use this like curl cream after the shower. But it was perfect. Like absolutely perfect.
That's
And,
crazy that her hair is that long. Like you don't even realize it's that long because it's so curly and wavy. Like when it's wet, it probably goes, like you said, all the way down to her leg. And then all of a sudden it gets dry and it's like, whoop. And
her hair is, let me see if I have any picture here. Her hair is really long now. Just normally it's down pretty much to her butt. Like we always have it up, I guess. Because it's hot, it's summer, so it'll probably be out more. But yeah, long hair. And then look at JB. He said, Dr. Nick's is the first time I've done shampoo and conditioner in my hair. Always just been shampoo and some combo junk. Oh, the 2-in-1s. Yeah.
Black.
Ugh.
Dude, welcome to 2024 and welcome to being more amazing, starting with your hair.
There we go. All right, guys. We're going to have some fun today. We, as always, of course. And I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from Nick, and I'm sure I'm going to want to share some stuff as well. We went ahead and created a random tangent wheel roulette style of different topics, including things like entrepreneurship, childhood nostalgia, tech innovation, travel bucket list, life hacks, just completely random
The
ones.
Zodiac Killer. Yes.
The Zodiac Killer. And I have that on there for a reason. I hope it pops. I really hope it pops. We'll see here. But real quick from Mr. Jacob, Daniel is nonverbal, but when we asked him to get his wash, he reaches for Dr. Nick's with the other choices in the shower.
Oh.
Let's go.
Okay, so that takes unbiased feedback to like a whole new level. Like this kid's never interacted with me, he's never talked to me. He doesn't have any reason for that. With no words, he's able to convey how much he likes it and how good it feels, and he reaches for it. Like that's like primal feedback right there. That's like instinctual feedback. That's huge.
There's no any kind of incentive to choose other than exactly what he wants. And he did.
That's so freaking cool.
And then on the flip side, our guy Jim said, I used the peppermint rosemary body wash once, asked my lady what she thought of the scent, then suddenly the whereabouts of the bottle are unknown.
Weird how that works.
Right. And she just happens to smell amazing now. But not that
like
she
peppermint
before,
rosemary.
just differently.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh,
more amazing.
You guys are the best. Absolute best.
You guys are the best. Man. Like you take a crap rainy day and turn it into it's like it's sun shining in here now.
Hey Nick, where is Hazelhurst? Oh wait, that's not Mass. I was blanking. What's the abbreviation for Mass? MA?
MA.
All right, no, Mississippi. Never mind. Junk call from Mississippi. I was like, do we get to do like a fun call in line here and prank somebody? No. Just some garbage. Dang it. All right. The random wheel, and we want to hear from you guys in the chat as well. Nick, are you ready?
I mean, as ready as I'm gonna be.
All right. Here we go, my friends. Come on, Zodiac. Reggie, stop calling me. No, just kidding. Oh, so close. Okay. All right. So our first one is life hacks. In the chat, and this could go in a million zillion directions. What is something that you have as a life hack that just makes all the difference? Whether it involves a zip tie, whether it involves something on your vehicle, your home, your food, your anything, literally anything, let us know. I'll start with one here. I have found, and I don't think that this is a manipulation because I'm not making anybody do anything, but I have found if you have kids at dinner and you order all the food that you would like, and then you simply say you request something honestly. So, for example, we went to a Chinese restaurant that had good gluten-free food over the weekend, ordered all of our food, and then our boys just simply wanted sides of rice. We also did this recently at another, like a Coney Island type restaurant where they wanted something as a side. I have found when you order your food, and then once it comes as a life hack, you just simply say, hey, could we also have like 2 sides of rice and some gluten-free soy sauce? Every time I've done it like in that order, once the food has came, we've never been charged for those extra little sides. Now, I'm not ordering entrees. I'm not ordering dessert. It's just for my kids, some additional side. And to be totally transparent, at first it started as literally like, oh, they didn't tell me, can we just have these? And then now I'm like, man, this is kind of a win all. That a side of rice costs them what? Pennies. It saves us money. And with that money, I am more inclined to tip better because I feel like I got a little something out of the meal. And I have found, for whatever reason, after the food is delivered, you ask for a small side, it's always been free. And it's been like a go-to for me. And it like makes me super proud to like be frugal and have that happen.
So 2 things on that. I mean, one, it's probably no skin off anybody's back, first of all. And 2, it's probably because instead of like putting it in the computer like they normally would in the beginning, they're like, ah, crap, they got to get this out quick. So they just go to the line in the kitchen. They're like, hey, can you get me 2 sides of this and that? And they do, they crank it out, they bring it over, or some runner brings it over to your table. And it's just like a total oversight. Yep. And then point number 2 is if you haven't heard it before, as soon as we're done with this stream, the first thing you need to do is open up Spotify if it's up and listen to Little Dicky Save That Money.
Oh God, that was one of his first breakouts. I love that song.
Okay, good. Like a rap song talking about being frugal and saving money. Like it just reminds me of like the end when he's talking about like the iced coffee. He's like that's the only differentiator making this a non-free perk is the ice. Like how much the ice cube's worth. Like how come I got to charge $2 for an iced coffee, but I can get refills on coffee over and over and over again.
So true. And Jay Spears says, hey, can I get a side of cheeseburger?
Yeah. Can I get a side of a filet mignon, some potatoes, and cheeseburger, extra bacon?
Oh, yeah. Please. Quick. Like real quick. Oh my gosh.
Please and thank you.
Let me hit a couple of these and then I'll get some from you, Nick. And then if anybody has to share, Moose says adding rice seasoning. Do you know this word here?
Furikake. Heck yeah.
Okay, never heard of it. To rice or eggs takes it up 10-fold taste-wise.
Dude, like 100-fold. Like
what?
Literally.
I've never heard this.
So furikake is a mixture of nori, like seaweed, like the sushi wrapper, little seaweeds. What? And it's chopped up into tiny little bits with sesame seeds, black sesame seeds, toasted white sesame seeds, some salt, and it's in like a little shaker. It's all like it's all like little tiny little bits. You shake it out like a little think about like everything bagel seasoning that you get. It's got like the granulated onion and the garlic and the sesame in there. It's like that, except kind of like a Japanese spin on it. And then, man, if you got some rice underneath those eggs and you put like a little gochujang on there with a little bit of furikake on there, woo! Oh,
why am I not surprised you know this?
I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. I was actually talking to Jill about this the other day. Let's talk about random tangent. Here we go. Random tangent on the life hack. Moose, it's your fault. Furikake, I'm blaming you. So, like, back in the day, my dad told me when I was a kid that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth to listen twice as much as you talk. And he also said when your mouth is open, your ears are closed. So that was my dad telling me to shut up and listen and learn. And so when I was a kid and I was bouncing around a bunch, like I finally got it in my head that I'm like, okay, how about I don't want to be a quiet person, but how about I only say something when I feel like what I have to say adds value or have something to say when I have something relevant or I know something about the topic, and again, have something of validity to add to the conversation.
Ding, ding, ding.
So that worked out pretty well for a while. And so from like my 20s into my 30s, like I was around people in Silicon Valley. I was around people at Lawrence Livermore. I was around people at the Department of Defense and Homeland Security, the Secret Service. And these guys were smart. And like I listened twice as much as I talked, and it bled its way into other parts of life. But I was talking to Jill about it this weekend. It's actually a real double-edged sword, because I really embodied that for a long ass time, right? And if I didn't have something valuable to say, or I didn't know anything about the subject matter, I would shut up and listen. And what happens when you do that for 20 years is you end up learning a lot. And then another problem happens where you follow those same rules, but now you talk too much. Because why? You didn't for 20 years and sat there and listened. And so now when you follow those same rules, you have something relevant to say about a lot of stuff. And chances are just about any conversation, hence Furikake, you pipe up, right? Because that rule in your head was like, well, don't say anything unless you have something valuable to add. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, like I talk too much because I actually know a lot about a lot of things that I've collected over the years, right? So there's a transition period that you have to go through to retrain your brain of being like, now you might know a lot of things about a lot of stuff. You don't always need to tell people about it, and you don't always need to contribute. So now it's like a selective contribution. So not can I add value? It's can I add value in a way that I think is valuable? And do I want to add value in a way that benefits anybody right now around me? And if the answer is no, then you got to just use your filter, but it's a weird little double-edged sword. I realized it after a couple of, things, and it was one of those weird things where like in my head, I'm like, well, I think I'm a person. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I say things when they're relevant. But then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You can pretty much talk for at least 10 minutes about damn near anything. So don't.
No, I entirely hear you. And I'm obviously a very similar way. Like if I get talking about beard stuff, I can just go. I can just passionately riff on any topic. But then there's other things where, and yeah, Leo says, I ask myself if I'm adding value or showing off. That, Leo, you're in my head to a T, right? I'm a born naturally confident person. I'm very happy with that, very proud of that. I would not want the alternative to that. But with that said, I do have to ask myself, what are the intentions of what I'm doing, And I actually kind of talked about this last night. Nick doesn't even know because I'm so weird with this stuff. But Nick, a little bit of news. A couple people heard last night. We got a new vehicle, and we got a 4Runner. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with 4Runners.
Oh, yeah. What year?
Essentially, 2022.
Nice.
And so essentially we got it because it's very reliable. It's not going to break down. It's going to last forever. And mechanics love it because it's very simple to work on. And repairs on 4Runners are very inexpensive. And I've never bought a vehicle before. We've only ever leased. And our life has turned with soccer and travel where having 2 leased vehicles is not going to be plausible. And so we had to get something we can throw miles on. And so we got a 4Runner. Now, I have not posted about it. I haven't done a single story. We've actually had it for a month now. We took it to Columbus this last week. Like we love it. And I found out there's like a cult following with these 4Runners. They actually don't sell them overseas because there's such a crazy black market that they're just not doing it. Mm-hmm. And I haven't posted about it. I've never even mentioned it until last night when it came out without me even trying because someone mentioned one. And it's because of exactly what Leo said there, where am I adding value or am I just showing off? And the same translates to conversation with me where I'm always balancing that. Am I just talking about this to show people I know how much? Or am I actually answering a question, solving a problem, doing something along those lines? And I have those same tightrope walks. And my perspective on it is I would rather have the knowledge, the experience, and most importantly, the passion, and try to rein myself in rather than be the opposite of any of those and not have knowledge, not have passion, and simply try to boost myself up and make myself speak. I like my side of the equation. Now there's people on the other side of the equation, and that's beautiful. We need balance. We need different diversity amongst humans and personalities. I love where we're at, and I love the value you add. I come to you all the time for topics I don't know much about. I come to you about topics I do know a lot about, and I learn more from them. So I absolutely love it. And Leo, I have the 4Runner is not replacing the truck because our trailer is much more than 5,000 pounds. So I cannot tow our trailer with the 4Runner. So I don't know on that one, but yeah, just simply to say, I agree with all that. I understand that balance, and we are loving our 4Runner. It's really, really fun.
Dude, those things are awesome. I had an older one. I had a, what was it, like a 90, like a 90, like a 91.
And they haven't even changed, so they're probably exactly dang near the same.
You know, the updated one, you know, is definitely updated, you know, which is awesome. But no, they do have a cult following. Like the amount of people, the amount of friends I have in California that are like rock crawling around in Yodas, like they're like, that's like their, you know, it's like Jeep people. Like if you're like a 4Runner person who like, you know, you got like the Yoda stickers and everything else, like you're not looking, you know, it's not like you're open to other options. Like they are 100% a cult following.
Yeah. Yep. So that's been fun. All right, Moose, that was a good one, man. Thank you. Jake says, freezing ground beef, flatten it out in the Ziploc bag. Okay.
Oh yeah. No, that's key right there. You can't freeze the big chunk of beef. It's not good. If you talk to a butcher and ask him why it's not good, for my purposes, it's not good because it's a pain in the ass to unthaw it at that point. But if you do it thin and flat, then you put it on your granite countertop, then boom. And you can go one step further, Jake. There's a guy online who sells meat defrosting heat sinks.
Oh, I've seen those where it's nothing added. You just put it in there and it defrosts.
Put it on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's they're made out of aluminum in a certain shape of dissipation.
Yep.
Zach Hara would know exactly how this works, and he probably has made one himself. Is that you know, like heat sinks on like a piece of electronics, you know, they take heat and they dissipate it out to the air instead of having a fan. They with these meat heat sinks, it's the opposite. The things sit on your counter. You take any flat frozen piece of meat and put it on this heat sink, and it dissipates the cold out of the frozen meat, and it thaws it in like, it says like 25% of the time.
Yeah.
No microwave, no nothing.
I have an uncle that has one of those. It's mind blowing. You can see it in real time, like just start to have the frost and everything just go. It's really cool.
Those things are so cool.
Because says if you're going to somewhere like Chipotle or Moe's, you can ask for the tortilla on the side for extra grains. Okay, that checks out.
You can, and they always put more when you put it on the side too.
100%. And if we're talking about having experience and only speaking about things that you can add value or no, I would say Moose Hikes has a little bit of experience here since he has hiked from Canada to Mexico and vice versa twice. He says hiking in sneakers is much more lightweight on your legs and your shoes dry 10 times faster. Wow. Wow. I would have never thought that.
Interesting. So like, as opposed to like,
boots?
Well, so like
the hiking shoes.
Yeah, like I wear hiking shoes if I'm wearing shoes when I'm hiking, which is rare. I will wear like a hiking shoe. Essentially, it's like the height of a sneaker, you know, but it's Gore-Tex lined, so that way you don't get wet as long as you don't go over the ankle line of it. But Moose, I'd be interested to hear actually for what you think about this. So I've always had this weird thing in my head that says like, are waterproof shoes that aren't actually over the ball of your ankle pointless? Because my thought is that if you have them low like that and water goes over the edge, right? They're Gore-Tex. They're waterproof.
It's gonna stay.
Where's that water gonna go once it gets in your shoe?
That's a good point.
Like what chances do you have of water going past the sole of a shoe and not going past the laces of a low cut shoe, right? And if that happens, like you say, a non-waterproof sneaker, you're going to get, you have rubber on the bottom. You're not going to get wet for a shallow puddle. But if you step in something deep, they're going to get wet just like the Gore-Tex ones get wet in your socks. But then those breathe. So like the water can dissipate and evaporate and leave your foot. Otherwise, you just get swamp foot and sitting there incubating in your Gore-Tex prison.
Yeah, he said Gore-Tex is designed to keep water in as it is out, which is why they dry so slowly.
Dude, you know what? That's a really good point, man.
It
I've
is.
always wondered if I was spinning my wheels on that.
Nope, you're right. You're right on
Hmm.
that one. OG says, when I'm at the checkout at the store, if something doesn't ring up a scan a few times, it says free, and sometimes I don't get charged by the cashier.
Sometimes they're like, you know what? Not going to argue because the kid I have running to check prices took 22 minutes and a smoke break last time I asked him to check a box of cereal. So get it. Go for it.
So true. So true. G squared says, I feel bad about this, but because it's wasteful, but when I eat an apple with peanut butter, I put the PB on into a sandwich size Ziploc, cut the corner off, and use it like icing. Hey, nothing wrong with that, dude. That's nice.
Okay.
G squared. I'll take you one step further though. They now sell squeezable peanut butter where it's like essentially like a soft ketchup tube, and you can get every single little bit out and do exactly what you're wanting to there. How do I know that? That's what we use because it's so much easier to make our kids like food and lunches. So they already make it for you. Okay. Oh no. All right. 1 second. All right, Nick, I'm going to kick it to you guys. Pardon my rudeness here. Sam is with the boys, supposed to be at soccer camp, and they just messaged. We tried. More lightning around us. Camp is canceled. Sorry, guys. So I got a message here. But
bummer.
Nick, do you have any hacks for life?
Oh, dear God. So many of them. Like, where do we even start? Like, let's pick a topic at least.
What about vehicles? Because I know next to nothing about vehicle. What is something simple that you can do that can improve your life with vehicles?
Okay.
And don't overthink it because I know nothing.
So improve your life with vehicles. Okay. So I think a few things that can improve your life with vehicles. And it's one of those stupid, simple things that I don't know. It's funny, actually. It's come up a couple times in the past year. So maybe this is a good one.
Okay.
Is even if you're not a mechanic, right? Like even if you'll never find yourself.
Yes.
Even if you don't find yourself working on a car, right? There are instances in life where you don't want to waste a trip to the mechanic just because you need to look at something underneath your car. And the way I've felt about it, and I've seen this happen, is that if you're not a mechanically inclined person, you may or may not once in your life tried to use a jack to jack up your car to look under it and accidentally bent something. You put something through a floorboard, right? All of a sudden the passenger gets in the seat and they're like, hey, how come you got this lump in the floorboard here? And you're like, the what? And you go over and you're like, oh yeah, that's from when I jacked up the car. I guess I should have found the frame like the instructions said. Ramps. They're $40 at the auto parts store, and they're like these thick plastic ramps that you put in front of the wheels of your in front of your car, and they sit on the ground and you drive onto them, and they lift the front of your car up about a foot, and then you can get under there and look at stuff. Like let's say you get over a piece of plastic or something, and something's stuck under there and it's burning, or there's something else going. You got a leak or whatever else. Before you waste your time and go and bring it somewhere literally just for someone to put it on a lift to look underneath your car, put it up on the ramps. You don't have to worry about a jack and all that other stuff. You gotta, just do it.
So you are the doctor of time and space, because last night I mentioned the 4Runner. The only critical feedback, and not in a bad way, like in a really good way, about it was that you got to be careful with their frames, because they're built like a truck with the frame. And that if you live in an area that uses a lot of salt on the roads, it can cause issues with the frame if you don't properly rinse it off or take care of it. And my literal thought was, other than going to a shop or other than going through a car wash, I don't know how the hell I'm going to look at the frame. And I literally was like, I'm not going to jack it up. That doesn't feel safe and secure to be under and stuff in my driveway. And I was racking my brain. This feedback was last night. I was racking my brain on, I don't know how I would possibly get under this thing. That sounds like it's the answer.
Dude, it is the answer. And you know what else that brings up a really good point? Just another life hack for vehicles on that same note in the winter, beginning of winter, end of winter, middle of it, when you're driving around and the roads are white because all the salt all over them, like you're just saying, like you get salt, and that's what causes corrosion like crazy. Like
rust too, right?
Oh, dude, that's vehicle cancer. Rust is vehicle cancer, and you don't want vehicular cancer. You just don't. So one of the cool life hacks that I like to employ is when you're closing up your yard and getting your garage all switched over from summer stuff to fall and winter stuff, leave one of the hoses out and leave one of your sprinklers out. That's got like the one that sits on the floor, and it's the kind of sprinkler that does like the, it does like the back and forth like this, or it's one of the ones that like swirls like this. It's not the state kind. Put that bad boy in your driveway, kick it on, and drive over it real slow.
What?
And then you don't have to go to the car wash and spend $20 just to get the undercarriage spray in the winter. You get home, you put the sprinkler in the driveway, you turn it on, you drive over it all nice and slow, and then bam, you got a salt-free underneath of your car. No more worried about rust and salt and everything else collecting on it.
And you're saying before winter and after winter?
No, all through the winter. Do it as you're just do it on the weekend in the middle of the winter. As soon as you see white on the roads, just think to yourself, like on the weekend, hey, there's probably a crap load of salt just sitting here eating away at the bottom of my car right now. Throw the sprinkler in the driveway, drive both your cars over it, and boom, they're salt free, just like they would be in the spring when you go through the undercarriage car wash.
Man, so the water freezing the ice on the driveway is not an issue there?
I just do it on the side on one side, but I mean, it's like, you maybe do it on one of those days where it's like a little sunny and stuff is melting, and you're not going to do it when it's like -2 outside and it's going to freeze as soon as it turns on,
I like that. Everyone's saying, what a great idea. That's a fantastic idea. Nick, that's a great idea.
Dude, you know what I thought about doing is that I actually just talked about this a couple of months ago. If I were to redo my driveway, or, I would probably do a heated driveway just to keep the buildup of snow down a little bit. I like the heated driveway idea a lot. But while I was doing the heated driveway, I would literally install a insulated, thermal warmed water supply to that same area. And I would have a crack at the end of the driveway. And I swear, what I wanted to do, I wanted to hook it up to a garage door opener for the valve. So you could pull up to your driveway, hit the third button on your garage door opener that nobody uses.
Oh my God.
I had Jack convinced that blew up the recycling bins if you pushed the third button for the longest time. It went on for like 4 years. He's like, what's that third button do? I'm like, it blows up the trash cans. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, don't push it. And so, but I wanted to make it so where you could push that third button and it turns on the little water jets about, this high off the ground. You drive over it on your way in, you get all the salt off, you hit the garage door button again, then you hit the real garage door button and pull in the garage with a clean undercarriage and it drips dry.
Oh my gosh,
like,
that is.
I want it because I want to do it. I want it. I want to redo my driveway just so I can do that.
Could you imagine how satisfying that video content would be?
Oh,
I watch it all day.
Oh, dude.
Wow. Okay. I love that. See, Nick had no idea what he was going to talk about with life hacks, and he just did one. That's what a great idea. Fantastic idea, Nick. That's a great idea. That's how we do things right there.
Boom.
All right. Got that one off. All right. Come on, big baby. Give me something. Give me something here. What do we got? What are we going with next? Oh, please. You can. Let's go. Let's go. It's rigged, everybody. It's rigged. Yes. Okay. Now, Nick, I feel like the answer is no here, but some people might, Nick is wicked smart. Some people might know the reason why. Nick, do you know why I added the Zodiac Killer to this list?
No.
Okay. So first off, like many people my age, I would imagine I was obsessed with like the Zodiac Killer story as like a high schooler and still have never really lost the lust for it. And like my favorite class in high school that I ever took was called Law and Society. And we like learned about serial killers and we went to the Flint County Jail as a field trip, which was unbelievable. So the Zodiac Killer, prolific serial killer, they've never found him. They believe he was probably a cop. They believe all these different things about him. They have the boot, they have handwriting, they've got all this stuff. Well, right? Oh yeah, who's Zoe? Yeah, so he was a serial killer and he would kill like couples and do all these things, and he would call into the news and say, hey, like, I got a riddle for you, and he'd do all these ciphers where you had to decode them. We've decoded almost all of them. I think there's like one left we still haven't decoded yet. Well, this guy came out on social media in the last couple of days and said, hear me out. I believe my grandpa is the Zodiac killer. And it's like, okay, it's social media. The post went crazy because everything checks out in a like, wow, your grandpa is the Zodiac killer, down to he showed writing from the Zodiac killer, and all the misspellings matched his grandfather's misspellings. For example, his grandfather always spelled until with 2 L's. You've never seen that. No one does that. The Zodiac killer spelled until with 2 L's. He was the police officer on the scene of the crime for one of the murders and talked about her, like the exact quote, her fluttering bra, that when they would pump oxygen into her chest would make the bra flutter. And that's the police report from the officer. And like, all this crazy stuff. And it's like coming out where it's like, wow. And the kids, I think, is going to go do a DNA test to see. It's like they think they finally caught the Zodiac killer. And you guys, it is like levels. And he was like, I don't have a relationship with him. I didn't like him. He was abusive to my mom. He cheated on his wife. He was terrible to the kids. I never saw him after the age of 9 when we kind of broke up with all that stuff. It was crazy. Yeah, no, G squared. This is in the last 3 days. The last 3 days this has come out. If you guys look up like Zodiac killer grandson, you'll find the info on it. But when he started to get into the spelling and all the spelling errors, and that the Zodiac killer was known as a bad speller, and then not only did he show his grandfather's writing, he showed his grandfather's police reports. So like official stuff, and they had the same spelling errors. And everything else from the appearance to the boots to all the stuff has come out and checked out, to the point where experts are coming out being like, we want to dispel this social media thing, but we think he's right.
Wow.
Yeah. So they think they caught the Zodiac killer.
I mean, so that kid better get ready. I mean, sure, your grandpa might have been abusive to your mom. Like, he might not have been a great guy. You know, you might not have had a relationship with him, but he's about to make you a millionaire because of your new Netflix special that you're going to be starring and writing with. So, I mean, hey, there's a silver lining in everything, right?
100%. And it's this guy right here. So they believe his name is Richard Hoffman. So if you guys want to look it up, I'll let you guys kind of do your work. Richard Hoffman on that one.
Oh, I mean, that looks like it. I mean, that checks out. You saw the photo, you saw the sketch there. I mean, come on. I mean, come on.
In the spelling, that he was an officer in that area. He knew multiple victims. It was just, oh my goodness gracious. It just entirely checks out. Like I have goosebumps right now. It checks out so much.
That's crazy.
It's just absolutely.
It's nuts that he stitched it together.
Yeah, I know. I forgot how he really thought of it, but
it almost makes me wonder if he knew. Like if it was like a Dexter situation where there was like a time that like his grandpa babysat for him, and like he woke up and like everything was covered in blood, and he was like, you know, coming out of the basement or something.
Yep.
And then he like held on to it forever, and he's like, well, I can't just tell people that because then they'll wonder why I didn't say anything sooner. He's like, I gotta go back and look at stuff. But man, imagine. And now that kid, he's the, you know, imagine that. He's like the Dexter of it all. He's Zodiac killer number 2. He's only stirring it back up so he can get the hype going again before he jumps into action.
Yeah, and the grandson was military. I think he was military police maybe. And Toll Booth Willie, I thought the same thing. He's already come out and had to make videos, and I get it. He shouldn't do this, but I totally get it. I do the same thing when I shouldn't. And he's like, listen, you guys, I'm not proud that this is my grandpa. I'm not out here clout chasing. I'm just getting the story out here because of it. It's the same thing I do when I defend myself against the stupid comments about people being like, you make money and you're blah, 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 blah. And I shouldn't defend myself, but I still do. He's had to come out, and I'm like, I hope there isn't something crazy that happens with him, you know, because we've seen reality can be crazier than stories oftentimes. And so, yeah, this one is crazy. Just if you guys are interested in it, go take a look, because there's way too many proven facts that line up. Not
that is
like
crazy. I'm looking him up right now. That's so cool.
It's so cool. It is so dang cool. And he has a bunch of videos on it and stuff. And I don't think the grandpa's still alive. I think I wondered that too. I think he is deceased. I believe. So yeah, I believe that he is deceased. And yeah, former police officer. It's pretty crazy. Pretty dang crazy. So awesome. I'm so glad that one came up. I was hoping
Dude, that's
it
a
would.
crazy. I gotta dig way into this now because that's so cool.
And you better be giving me play-by-plays, and I'll do the same for you, and we'll be
Oh, I
just going
will.
back and forth about it.
That is insane.
Dan B, the links don't work unless you're a moderator or on the channel. So it did not come through. All right. Love that one. Let's keep it going, guys. Why do we only have 9 minutes left? Stop it.
How did that happen?
Stop it. Okay. All right. Now, this is a tough one for you, my friend. I bet. Okay. I bet you have something in mind, but you've traveled so much. It's going to be more difficult, I think. For me, it's very simple. I'm a simple guy. I have 2 bucket list items, and they are so far ahead of any other ones. And I want to see the world. I want to go all over, but I have to see Alaska and Hawaii. Those are my 1, 2. I have to. Like, there's just something, and it's always been that way. It's since the day I met Sam, we said for my 40th birthday, we're going to go to Alaska, and we still are holding true to that and want to, and we will make it happen. And put in the chat, you guys, what is your bucket list? For me, it's the non-lower 48. Alaska, Hawaii, never been near either of them, and I really, really, really want to go.
So, okay, on my side of that, I want to hear everyone else's too to see what. Okay, yeah. So everyone's got some. Okay, Greece, yeah. You know, there's a couple that are on my list for fun reasons, and a couple that are on my list for like really random reasons, I guess. I really want to go to Croatia. Looks amazing, and it's one of those places where I've always joked that if I had to like disappear and escape, never mind. Well, now I ruined it. So now if I go anywhere, everyone's gonna know I went to Croatia. The whole internet knows now. Good job,
Texas.
So whatever. Yeah, Croatia is one of them. I want to go to Ibiza, really, really bad. That looks amazing. I want to go there and party and be up too late and do all those things. That sounds fantastic. And then I guess for other reasons, probably because just food, cultural reasons, those sorts of things, I really, really am dying to get to Thailand. I want to go to Bangkok. I want to walk around in Thailand and eat street food at the street markets. I want to like just smell and taste and get immersed in everything over there. Like I want to go on little boats on sketchy ass bodies of water. Like I want to do that so bad. It's just because I cook a lot of Thai food. I've had a lot of Thai friends over the years, and I want to go there and learn how to cook more stuff. I want to learn how to use ingredients that I've never used before in cooking, and I want to know what their coffee's like at their local shops. You know what I mean? It's just all that. It's so. I want to say it's so foreign. Obviously, it's so foreign. It's Thailand, but it's like another planet to me for some reason.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, especially the little islands. I really want to see those. And I will say, so last winter, my parents and my sisters went to Thailand. We did not get asked or invited to go. Oh, yeah, that still burns. Thailand is other than Alaska and Hawaii, Thailand is Sam's number 1.
Really?
Yeah, we would struggle with food because of the celiac. So that would be the main challenge, but it's her number 1 is Thailand.
Well, I don't know though, man. They have a lot of really meat and veggie forward dishes. Like Americanized Thai food is always served on top of noodles and rice and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Carbs. But I mean, like, because you guys are okay with rice, right?
We are. It's usually the sauce. Like we can't have normal soy sauce. We can't have normal teriyaki sauce. We can't have like a lot of these ones.
Well, thankfully in Thailand, most of their soy sauce is tamari, which is typically gluten free.
Yeah, we use tamari. Yep.
Yeah. Tamari is gluten free, and a lot of that stuff over there uses it. They don't like the soy because it's too high in sodium and a couple other things. It's really clean, healthy food. And man, can you imagine? Like, if that's on Sam's bucket list, it's on my bucket list. Can you imagine like a Nick and Dan do Thailand?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine what would happen to people's faces if you and I walked around Thailand, like downtown Bangkok together? Like it would just be.
Yeah.
Like
What is
we'd be
that?
on the news. Like it'd be like
Yeah.
2 bearded men landed in Bangkok today.
I, yeah, don't even get me excited. And OG, me and you, let's coordinate. Let's get on that cruise together. That would be going to Hawaii. Oh yeah, or not cruise, just going out there. And man, that would be cool. Wow. Okay, so Thailand and Croatia are your two.
Yeah.
I love those. Croatia is a huge hub of water polo, so I'd be down for that. Any of the Baltic states, I would love to see.
Yeah, that's it though, man. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, the food is crazy good. Like, what's not to like?
Yep. All right, we're short on time, but I think
We
we
got
can do
one
another
more.
one.
We got
All right,
one
let's
more.
hit another one here, guys. God, this is so fun. Oh, okay. All right. Survival scenarios. Now, my brain not disappearing, right? Not disappearing. We're not talking about that one. That plan's already out there. We'll get going on that one. I thought about this with like the internet. Obviously, everyone's brain wanders and stuff. Survival scenarios. What are you guys? Where would you go if stuff hits the fan and stuff goes wild? My answer, and this is not an exaggeration, we've discussed this stuff before, involves Nick. It involves figuring something out, whether it's a compound in Puerto Rico, whether it is or Costa Rica. Like, we're figuring something out here, and without giving out too many details, Nick, what's like a couple of key steps we need in a survival situation? The internet grid goes down, we're struggling, no electricity. What are the first steps that we're doing?
You need the ability to make alcohol. You need the ability to make ammunition, and you need a way to get across a large body of water.
Ooh.
And a way to defend yourself while you're doing that. And I'll tell you the reason why is that there's a number of places where you could go by boat, just not too far away, that are already living in very much a trade-based society underneath the guise of capitalism. And I think that there is going to be much less. You will have to be able to provide, some knowledge or some service or contribute somehow. Or else, they're going to take you out too, and they're going to defend their little haven they have. But that's why you got to have those things in place ahead of time, right? That's why you got to make those relationships. You got to have your storage unit somewhere with all your stuff in it that's close by to where you need to be. And I just think one of the worst places you could be if the economy, if the internet, if our transportation and municipality systems were to ever go down, I think being in a first world country is probably the worst place to be after something like that happens, because life is going to be so different and people are going to panic so much more than people that are already used to living off the land and kind of abide by a barter system between farming services and just mutual exchange, right? And so I'm not like, oh, we're going to go to a compound where there's like a guy who makes bread and there's like a guy who has shoes and like this. And no. It's, you are very self-sufficient in this dystopian future that could exist, right? But I think having the place, having the facilities, having the relationships in place, and then most importantly, just having a way to get from point A to point B that isn't going to depend on someone else.
I like that. I grew up on Lake Michigan until I was 14. I'm still surrounded by the Great Lakes, and I am a phenomenal swimmer, treader, negotiator. So I like that. I got some skill set to add on, and I gotta go one more. We gotta get one more. We're going slight overtime here, but one more on this one. Okay, nice. All right, beard competitions. I've been getting a lot of questions because the Great American Classic in Detroit is coming up, and they just announced, as we saw on the show last week, the location of Nationals. Nick, the perfect person for this question. For someone that has never entered a beard competition, you had all the thoughts, all the feels that everybody has beforehand. As someone that was there recently and went through the experience, what would be your feedback for someone that's nervous to try the Great American Classic?
Okay, so what I would say is my honest best piece of advice is that if you are comfortable in this chat on this live stream, if you're comfortable on Dan's stream on Mondays, Command's Corner, if you're comfortable, like I know everybody is, or they wouldn't send in photos on Beard Advice Live, right? Like if this group of people and Dan's group of people is your group of people and you feel comfortable saying things here that you might think about elsewhere, that's the level of nervousness you should have, because you're going to be welcomed by exactly the vibe that you have in this chat right now. Like you don't need to be anybody else, right? Like Jill said, be yourself and have fun. Don't take it too seriously. It is sure, it's a competition. Sure, you're being judged, but you're not. You're not being judged as a person. Like your facial hair is being judged, but it's everyone that's there is there because they're part of this or some other extension of this community, right? And the vibe was literally that. Like I couldn't say it enough to where like I felt like I was sitting in a live version of this chat when I got to nationals. Like all my nerves went away within like 4 minutes. I think Because is probably like the second person I ran into there out back next to registration where you get your badges and your category assignments. And like literally, I mean, Brandon, as soon as I got done talking to you, as soon as we started talking, my shoulders were down. And like, I can just say it, Brandon, he's actually who sliced through my nerves when we first got there. Cause that's when I realized that it was literally people that I hadn't met in person, but I knew. Yep. And I knew well, and I've interacted with. And as soon as I got done talking to Brandon, I literally walked away going, oh, well, I'm not nervous about anything.
Perfect. And I know that's still going to be tough for people and they won't believe it until they experience it. But I'm telling you
It's
guys,
true.
They're so chill. They're so like conversational. You just go around meeting people. You go around receiving compliments, giving compliments, seeing the different outfits. It's so fun. If you get a chance to go to a beard competition and you're watching this, I highly recommend it. Even if you don't have a beard, one of the ladies watching, you'll love the vibes. You'll love the community and just the engagement.
And she could enter under craft beard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that was wild. So many fun ones where they made the beards.
Oh, yeah.
So many fun ones. Awesome. All right, guys, we gave you a little bit of bonus today, a little bit of extra time, a little bit of double down on the Nick.
Little OT.
Yeah, OT. And so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to make sure we continue to bring the wheel back because that is just fun. And
it's too much fun.
Pretty much what we do best. And so you guys seem to enjoy it. And we love getting feedback from you as well on the topic. So, man, once again, you guys, thank you so much. It's like Monday nights. We leave here and we feel better than ever. And it is entirely because of the vibes of this community and the support that you guys offer. So, from me to you, thank you. And then from me to Nick, take him away, good sir.
Oh, man. Thanks, guys. As Dan can attest to, it's having a bit of a day. One of those days. Not really sure what to do with your hands, like Ricky Bobby. Like, what do I do? Do I cover my mouth with it? Do I put them up in the air? I don't know. Yet, you guys made it far, far better, as usual. And now Jill is on the way home with some... what'd she say? Mediterranean food?
We had pita away for lunch. Mediterranean.
It's so weird. What'd she say? She said she found some Mediterranean food. So that's on the way home. We were just talking about Mediterranean food.
We had Mediterranean for lunch.
Today?
Literally today.
Dear God.
Literally today. We haven't had it in 2 weeks. And we
literally live like this weird parallel shared existence. It's crazy.
That's beyond weird, dude.
All right. Well, with that, enough weirdness. We'll see you guys next week. Same place, same channel. Stay amazing. Love you long time.
Bye, guys. See ya.